Guidance can come at any time and to anyone. So far, perhaps we have heard more often than not that a non-Muslim's conversion to Islam was caused by extraordinary and important things. Like Dr. Miller, a Canadian evangelist who converted to Islam after encountering I'jaz Qur'an from various angles. But this one is really unusual. Yes, converted to Islam because of underwear. This fact was told by Dr. Shola, a teacher at an Islamic college in Saudi, when he was assigned to England. There was an old woman who used to wash the clothes of British students, including their underwear. There is no attractive side to this woman. She is old, a lowly employee, and lives alone. Every time we meet him, he always brings a large plastic bag filled to the brim with dirty clothes. For menial work like this, the residents of this nursing home are considered skilled even at their old age. In England, people who have elderly family members usually tend to put them in nursing homes. And of course, this sad situation must be accepted by most parents with a big heart so as not to burden their children. However, in the midst of conditions like these, it doesn't seem to discourage our character, who is actually very diligent in filling his days with dirty laundry. This middle-aged woman prefers to be called auntie or aunt. He has worked as a laundry attendant for almost half his life. Luckily for him, there are still agencies willing to employ seniors. I feel appreciated even though I am old. Besides, people like me have no one to take care of if not themselves. My children are married and live with their respective families. My husband has died. Even though the children like to visit, I still want to have my own activities to fill my old age, he said. It's not for hard work, but at least, apart from increasing your income, it also fills your old age. Maybe that's better than having to live in a nursing home. He said again with a sad face. It's also sad if you have to live alone, like a friend of mine. He also used to work as a laundry attendant with me, until finally, his only daughter got married. But after getting married, his daughter never contacted him, the aunt said. For her aunt, her profession as a laundry worker actually makes her closer to the activities and ins and outs of the dormitory residents, most of whom are students from outside the UK. The aunt really understands the habit of the students who live in this dormitory, apart from studying every day, is to go clubbing just to have fun. Many hostels have their own bars, cafes, television lounges, music rooms, and sports facilities. And one of the negative sides of socializing with British people is that when they are near a bottle of alcohol, they usually get really drunk. And you can imagine the chaos that ensued, vomiting all over the place, peeing in his pants, and so on. This is the stupidest thing humans have done since the creation of alcoholic drinks. Not only does it lose common sense, but the drunkard will also feel tired and have a very bad headache, hangover. When the dormitory residents were still dreaming because they were tired from clubbing all night, just leave the aunt to pick up the dirty clothes every day. And sometimes it has to be carried from the room long before they wake up from sleep. Then they are sorted carefully, one by one, based on the type of material, size, color, and more specifically, the underwear is separated from the others. This routine work was carried out with great dedication, even though he was getting older. Time continues to pass, while the aunt continues to struggle relentlessly with her dirty world. Ideally, at the end of life, it should be a time for someone to reap the fruits of their hard work during their youth. However, it was the situation that caused him to have to endure various life problems, so it was truly an unhappy old age. In a condition where he was no longer able to do much, he was actually required to do a lot. In conditions of declining productivity, he is actually required to produce high levels. I don't know how long he will have to do this job. So one day the dormitory received new residents, namely several Muslim students from the Middle East who had received study assignments from their country. They were registered to occupy one of the rooms in the dormitory where their aunt worked. For most Middle Eastern students, it is very rare to choose to live in a dormitory. They usually buy houses or flats that have been adapted to accommodate small groups of students, couples, or families. There are also some individual landlords who allow their houses to be managed and rented out. Living in a hostel is a great way to meet new people and make lasting friendships. This is one of the reasons they choose to live in a dormitory. It is this awareness that dispels concerns about culture shock or cultural shock. Living in a non-Muslim community, we are actually required to prove these high Islamic values as a solution for humanity. Of course, this is missionary work, which is the responsibility of every Muslim wherever they are, by continuing to maintain our privilege as Muslims, namely piety. As the days went by, it seemed that this aunt really cared about what she washed, to the point that he knows this is A's clothes, this is B's, and so on. This includes the students' dirty clothes from the Middle East. However, when she was sorting the underwear, the aunt felt something was unusual because of all the clothes she washed. Only Arab Muslim clothes looked dirty, didn't smell, weren't dirty, and didn't have many stains on them. This rare incident further fueled Auntie's curiosity. Again, the clothes washer in this hostel always felt strange when washing their underwear. Unlike the others, their underwear always doesn't smell. So, still curious, the aunt decided to ask the owner of the panties directly. When asked why, the two people answered, "We always do istinja every time we pee." The clothes washer asked again, "Is that taught in your religion?" "Yes," answered the two Muslim students. Feeling not 100% sure about that answer, finally, the aunt came to meet one of the Muslim figures, namely Dr. Sholeh, a lecturer at an Islamic college in Saudi when he was assigned to England. This old woman told of her surprise while on duty regarding the existence of strange underwear. There are some underwear that don't smell like most students in general. What's the reason? So this ustad said that because the owner is Muslim, our religion teaches us to purify ourselves after every urination or defecation, unlike those who don't pay attention to matters like this. How impressed this old lady would be if Islam paid attention to small things, let alone big things, thought the clothes washer. And not long after that, he took the Shahada, converted to Islam through underwear. Unexpectedly, it turned out that the washerwoman had secretly converted to Islam, causing an uproar among the students living in the dormitory, most of whom were non-Muslims. They tried to find out why Aunt converted to Islam. He answered confidently that he was very impressed with this Arab Muslim friend. Because of all the clothes he washed, his clothes were the only ones that looked different. And with the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he can differentiate between the clothes of a Muslim and a non-Muslim. Guidance can come at any time and to anyone. So far, perhaps we have heard more often about the conversion of non-Muslims to Islam due to extraordinary and important things. But this one is really unusual, receiving guidance at the end of his life because of underwear. Truly, God's destiny has truly coincided with his persistence in filling the remaining days of his life as a laundry worker. Herein lies the secret of God's great favor, which brings together his destiny and human endeavor. Indeed, Allah never wastes the charity of his servant.